r/askreddit. What TV show gripped you from the first episode? Futurama. That show had me hooked from the start, and 20 years later it's still an amazing pilot episode and series as whole. An alien. Has your ace taken control over the earth? No, I just work here. I see wiener. Or, crud. Here's to another lousy millennium. Avatar. The Last Airbender. I will never stop talking about how much I love that series. Uncle Iroh is the greatest character to ever grace the screen. Little soldier boy comes marching home. Wasn't expecting feels today, mate. Comes marching who oh muffled sobs. Chernobyl. This show is scarier than most of the horror films out there. A mini-series, but oh so good. HBO just makes good television. Well, for the first 5 seasons at least. Dexter, but I refuse to acknowledge the last season, and most especially last episode. Agreed. 1 through 4 is a great watch and a wild ride into Dexter's mind. What last episode? I'm pretty sure the last episode of the Trinity Killer arc is what they meant. Great ending to a great show. Right guys? Agreed. The last episode should be deleted from our minds. No ending would have been better than that one. Black Mirror. I dunno. Something about an entire country being enthralled with the broadcast of a man plowing a pig really drew me in. What really got me in that episode was the high-pitched noise meant to deter the people from watching, and I felt what the noise was supposed to do to the people, deter me, and I still watched, just like the people in the show. That mind duck as to what was happening in the show, and to me really hooked me. Yeah, I have to agree. It's pretty dark and disturbing, but it really draws you in. It's Twilight Zone on steroids. I felt queasy for days after watching this episode, but I still couldn't stop thinking about it. It's darkly brilliant. Black Mirror really lost me this last season. The heart just wasn't there. The Walking Dead. Then it got terrible and stopped watching. I think it was the CGI tiger that did it for me. TWD. But I began to lose interest when they fake killed off Glenn, and really lost interest when they for real killed off Glenn. For me it was when they killed Carl. The show seemed to gotten better though. I lost interest when it became about the humans and not the walkers anymore. Exactly. At the beginning of the show, the walkers were a legit threat and were to be feared. As the show went on, the walkers were in the background and more of a hassle, and it was the other humans who were the threat. I get that maybe that's how it would play out if it actually happened. Large and powerful groups of people fighting it out for scarce resources. But it was more exciting to watch when the walkers were the main bad guys. Mr. Robot. Hell yes. This has been my favorite show since I started watching it a while back. The acting, writing, music, cinematography and so much else are great. The show also takes risks with format and feel, like the ep that was basically a sitcom, one that had only one line of dialogue in it, and the most recent one, which was a 5-act play of sorts, and they largely pay off. The most recent episode was mind-blowingly good. Every actor in that episode killed their roles. True Detective Season 1. I believe this is the single best season of television ever filmed. You would not be wrong. I believe that it's the single best thing ever filmed. Breaking Bad. Meth Gang. Surprised I had to scroll so far down to see this. Where can it be watched? Netflix, which is also the only place that has El Camino, the sequel, Ash, movie. The X-Files. Yes. I never watched it as a kid and forgot about it until the new season came out a couple years ago. I was hooked from the very first episode. I love the chemistry between Mulder and Scully. Scully has become one of my all-time favorite characters. When I was good about working out, I used to put that show on because it made me feel inspired to get out and discover things. Not so much a fan of the latermost or the recent seasons, but it started out strong. and is still easily one of my top favorites. Attack on Titan. The intro was enough to justify binge watching the whole thing. Agreed. Best intro to suck you into the show for sure. The amount of shock in that scene, where Eren's mom gets her back snapped and is eaten alive whilst he watches in horror. The only reason I scrolled down was to see if someone already posted this lol. That final scene was one crunchy roll. South Park. I was 18 when that aired. We were in the barracks, and only the lounge had cable. A buddy came and got me at the first commercial. By the second commercial there were 30 people in there. The next week it was packed, and the week after it was standing room only, and we'd attached splitters to TVs sitting outside. I too was 18 in the barracks when this show debuted. Fort Campbell for me. It had me until the 12th season when much of the staff changed, and it became deadly apparent as such. No idea why this is being downvoted. Bill Hader was not a head person before that season. His introduction in season 12 was when the show has noticeably changed, and it's never been the same since. Peaky Blinders. Yep, it's fairly rote plot wise, but it looks amazing. And it's acted like gangbusters, especially when Hardy comes in. The opening with him on that giant black horse, the red powder, and the girl, it is beautiful, and it sets the tone for the whole first season. I keep meaning to start this one on Netflix. I should check it out. Stop whatever else, and watch it now. By order of the Peaky fucking Blinders. Game of Thrones. The opening scene alone was good enough. Everyone hates on it now. But GOT was arguable the biggest show of our generation. They don't really hate on it, just the last couple seasons and the creators. The problem is all the earlier seasons built up to the final seasons. Watching it now you would realize it was all pointless and meaningless. Yeah, I think that's the big reason why. With other shows with bad endings, either the show was meant to have self-contained episodes every week with the overall plot being relatively light, for instance Quantum Leap, or the bad ending was kind of out of the hands of the creators, for instance Lost. Stranger Things. Then it went to bad in the third season. I'm dreading the fourth, but I know I'll end up binging it anyway. Personally, I thought 3 was way better than 2. I personally thought season 3 was the best yet. The first half was amazing, I thought. Spoilers below. Especially when they cook Billy in the sauna and Eleven has the fight with Billy. My jaw hit the floor, and I was fist pumping. Awesome. Then the show completely shit the bed after that episode, the fourth I think. Doctor Who, but the 2005 version with Rose. I'm pretty sure I finished the first season of that show in less than 2 days. It was 2007. There I was, laid up with a broken leg, desperate for something new to watch. Lucky me, I had a Netflix subscription with this new watch online thing. I liked it right away, but the moment the doctor showed up, grabbed Rose's hand and said run, I was hooked. Eccleston is my doctor. Eccleston was my doctor until Capaldi came in and stole the show. Yep, got to agree with you on this one. Capaldi was just phenomenal. Because it's not a game, Kate. This is a scale model of war. Every war ever fought right in front of you. Because it's always the same. When you fire that first shot, no matter how right you feel, you have no idea who's going to die. Like, you just can't beat his performance here. The acting was so good, it feels real. Not a TV show, but a YouTube series. Has been Hotel. Once you get past the fact that it's blatantly filled with crude humor, it's definitely got potential to be one hell of a show. The premise is actually pretty cool. Charlie, the princess of hell, basically wants to solve hell's overpopulation problem peacefully because every year, angels come down and cull the numbers with violence. She decides to start a hotel where she'd basically help demons get a chance at redemption and go to heaven. With only one client, an effeminate male adult film star, and her closest friend. she sets out to basically get this plan moving. She's met with ridicule, but she's willing to keep trying. We also see her gain assistance from a super powerful demon known as the Radio Demon, who offers his assistance simply out of, and I quote, sheer absolute boredom. It's actually pretty good. So far, there's only the one episode, but it's got potential to be a really plot deep series. Was looking for this. Can't wait for Helluva Boss. There is a lot of them. When I was a teenager, the O.C was one of my favorite series of all time. The first episode was so awesome back then. Later, Mentalist did pretty much the same thing. Patrick Jane is one of my favorite TV characters. Justified gripped me in the first scene with Raylan shooting his perp right in the restaurant after he gives him a speech about leaving the city. Awesome show. Can highly recommend. The Boys I watched in one sitting, but that is kinda cheating, since I knew I would like it. After seeing Anthony Starr as Homelander, I had to watch Banshee, and that show was very good too from episode 1 to the ending. I've binged a lot of shows in last year or two, and there would be a very long list of shows there, but those are pretty much the first things that came to my mind. I've recently binged Lost, Breaking Bad and Dexter, and though I did enjoy them, and Lost became one of my all-time favorite, thanks to Desmond and Sawyer, it took many episodes for me to get a grip of them. Lastly, if you have any other recommendations for shows to binge, please do. They have to have a ending though. Can't watch 5 seasons and then it just ends. Damn, that is annoying. Thank for watching. Comment down below what TV show gripped you from the first episode.